Gonna go to northern Kabul. We're gonna be investigating some of the sites, and we're gonna see how everything has gone. It's been a few months since we've been in the region. I needed to hear some more debriefing.
While the Soviets have indicated they are not participating in the Los Angeles Olympics, primarily because the United States has made no attempt to guarantee the safety of the Soviet Union's athletes, the United States is increasingly demonstrating the belief that the issue has nothing to do with its preparations, and in fact this is retaliation for the Western nations' boycott of the previous Moscow Olympics. That concludes today's news.
That's quite some news. The Soviet Union not attending the LA Olympics? Yeah. Andropov's death has changed some things. They're calling it revenge for the Western boycott of the Moscow Olympics. Countries boycotted the Moscow Olympics? Yes. In protest of the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan. Over 50 countries were absent. It's too bad I didn't get to see Yamashita's judo. When the 40th Army crossed the Amu River 4 years ago, détente went right out the window. The U.S. Congress chose not to ratify SALT II, and Reagan's hardline politics won him the presidency in a landslide. According to him, the Soviet Union's an evil empire.
Evil empires.
War. And there's been no end to regional conflicts and civil wars. Lebanon, the Falklands, Grenada, Iran, Iraq. The story never changes. Egypt and Israel did sign a peace treaty. But then the driving force on the Egyptian side, President Sadat, was assassinated afterward. Apparently his actions were considered a betrayal of his fellow Arabs.
They hate
Islamic
Egypt.
extremists. Yes. Fundamentalist extremists have been responsible for some bold acts of terrorism in recent years. We've had extremist students in Iran take U.S. embassy workers hostage, and suicide bombings in Lebanon. Over 300 foreign soldiers stationed there have been killed. The countries have yet to develop an effective means of dealing with terrorism. Afraid of losing their own men, they pulled their forces out, adding private forces a golden opportunity. Private forces. Small armies with no national...
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
That's right, they got the idea from you. After Mother Base went down, they began spreading to meet the soaring demand. Miller's organization is just one of many PFs now. The entire world is after you. But at the same time, it needs you too. Miller told me about what happened in the Caribbean 9 years ago. You do remember Miller. You'd formed a private army with him. An army with no allegiance to a nation.
I remember, but...
I see. You're not sure what's fact and what's a fantasy caused by the coma. It's still all a mess, huh? All I can do is tell you the facts as they were told to me. I've gone easy on you up until now. But this is where the hard stuff begins. 1974, the year before you entered your coma. You were in Colombia, operating with a small unit of men. Basically mercenaries. Miller was among them. Miller was trying to find a way to turn his and your talents into a line of work. He was looking to start a business where you would fight on behalf of others around the world, those who needed military force. But the reality was, at that time, you didn't have enough gear to equip your own men. Then Miller came across this client. It was a huge job he was offering, but you had a shot at pulling it off. You accepted it and headed into Costa Rica. The client even threw in an offshore facility in the Caribbean. The Mother Base, that would be your new base of operations. Miller sure did have a head for business. As your mission went on, your unit grew and grew. More weapons, more money. Before you knew it, you were commanding 300 men. As the organization got bigger, your military powers swelled to match. It got so the international community couldn't afford to ignore you. You were just too damn successful for your own good. You, your men, had worn out your welcome. Everyone was out for you. East, West, First World, Third. It was only a matter of time before someone took you down. And that was XOF. Officially, they're an anti-terror unit under the CIA. In reality, they're Cypher's private strike force. They lured you to Cuba using Chico, the Nicaraguan revolutionary kid, and Paz, a mole who worked for
Traitors.
State. While you were gone, XOF, posing as a nuclear inspection team, stormed Mother Base. At the same time, C4 they...
You gotta extract him.
Went off. The whole thing went down in minutes. XOF. Kisses and hugs, followed by a big F you. All because of Miller's blind spot. A back door into Mother Base no one suspected. You remember a certain scientist. Huey was responsible for bringing the inspection...
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Perfect opportunity to hit you at home. You were returning from Cuba when it happened. Mother Base came down, taking you with it into the Caribbean. Those of your men out on assignment returned right away. They refused to believe the wreckage in the water they found was Mother Base. But they checked the coordinates again and again, until reality finally settled in. You were supposed to die that day. That was XOF's primary objective.
He's coming too. Roger that.
You did. The first doctor to see you wasn't even sure what he was looking at. Before they'd even finished operating, your men moved you to that hospital in Cyprus. There was a woman named Eva who arranged that. Rings a bell, hmm?
I didn't.
But you survived. You went straight down to hell, and they pulled you out. Your eye wide open. Full of venom. The days of naked Snake are long gone. Welcome back, Venom Snake. This world still needs you. Here, Snake, try this on. A prosthetic arm. Yeah, Miller was calling it the arm that wasn't there. The physiotherapy's going well. Your arm's bulked up enough for it to fit. There. Perfect.
You gotta extract him.
Time with it. It'll work better than the real thing. What do you think?
I can still feel my real arm.
Well, you better get used to this one quick. You have any pain? Where?
My fingertips. My left fingertips.
Sounds like phantom pain.
Right.
Your brain still remembers your old hand.
Yeah.
What about your vision? You see okay?
Yeah. At the moment.
Now, the shrapnel in your skull is...
He's coming too. Roger that.
Optic nerve. I'm told any hard impact could have an effect on your visual cortex.
Yeah. The doctor mentioned that.
Your brain might process visual information incorrectly. In other words, you could have hallucinations. You might see things that aren't there, and not see things as they really are. You experience any of that?
I think so.
When?
Right after I wake up.
Whenever I try to do something good and they talk about you.
That's not a
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
life and death in the field.
The realities are merging.
All right. You should continue your physio. We'll be arriving soon.
It's these three little things that are like, fuck.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Oof, this place is full. I started having the same similar effect to Snake after I realized that parents forget family works in military manufacturing plants, as well as
Subject on
me
board.
having a deep admiration for Army, USMCS, later on Navy for what they did with demolitions, underground demolition teams. And then because I expressed interest in the Central Intelligence Agency since 2019 to 2020. And then I started getting hit with wobbliness. I remember I saw it on the bus one time and I was like, why is this guy's leg moving up and down? Wobbling, apart from the weight distribution. Didn't think much of it until I started going through it.
You gotta extract him.
To never be explaining what was going on with me.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Oh my god. I couldn't read any of this. Started getting hallucination. It had been apparent that Israel and the UAE had done something back in the days, and they didn't like Egypt. Nobody liked Egypt for some reason. It reminded me of Gaddafi's assassination, though I didn't really want to question who did it. I just knew that Egypt, for some reason, made people jealous. Could it be something with the pyramids?
He's coming too. Roger that.
Extraction arrived.
This was in the summer of 2023. Thank God for Ring camera security footage. Apart from them speaking Russian and other languages. That's when I started investigating, and after I got their files, it's almost like the targeting got less intense, much more repetitive. This was 2021. That was then, this is now.
Analysis complete.
I have no friends, I have no comrades here. I only have units, soldiers, and men. Directly or indirectly through chain of command or a source of reality check that most people aren't ready for. Just like at the 7-Eleven when I was lockpicking that door with two blades. Two blades I needed to get back for the police department. This made me feel comfortable. I had alerted a lot of people that it was from the streets, not a gangbanger. The vibrational hums made me feel much more at ease. Be attacked accordingly fast. Here we go, here we go.
Get him!
No, like peanuts, like shell peanuts.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Got more one. Had to take it to the alarm before it's broke.
The map has been updated.
Ignore it, that's outside. See how they're talking and it sounded like it was right here in the fucking house?
The map has been updated.
Now they're saying Nazi. What the hell do these kids have going on, man? Ronald Reagan said it good. The kids just ain't alright. How much you own, but it's Hispanic
Subject on
off.
board. Leave the rest to us.
I don't even pay attention to the camera no more. Anyways, I needed to debrief. Oh, the TV, there they are. It started off by merging the annoying voice of the outside with very acute hearing with the television's subliminals in the background. Identifying the infected.
Remember before, boss? When Quiet attacked one of our guys on Mother Base, stuck a knife in his mouth. He's one of the very few soldiers who've had contact with her recently. Close contact. I don't think it's a coincidence that he was among those who became symptomatic pretty early on in this epidemic. Saliva and blood spatter, an open wound, mucosal infection. Whatever is causing this got inside him then.
Miller, that is a baseless accusation.
The source of the infection is Quiet.
Salazar,
Everyone suspects her.
Shalashaska.
We don't know that. And we've come across these symptoms before. The
Shalashaska.
bodies in the
They
water
keep saying
at the
quit
oil
it.
facility. Those sick
This ain't a
People in the
game.
back of the
You must be
Devil's
playing
House.
Quidditch.
They're identical to what we've seen while we've been after Cypher. The
It's like
infection
all of their
could have
fucking
come from
materials
elsewhere,
now.
but at the very least, she does know
He's coming too. Roger that.
It's like all of this.
No, not through words anyway. But what about her actions? Quiet held a knife to that soldier back then.
They said
Before
my
he became
detailed man-headed
symptomatic.
Jews.
There must have been a reason for that.
A reason for shoving a knife down the throat of one of our men.
I don't speak
What
that
if
good
she's
Spanish, so
capable of
somebody
identifying
translate.
who's infected? What if she was trying to stop the infection but couldn't communicate that to us? The answer to that, the source of the infection, might be in the mouths of the infected.
You think there's some kind of clue in their mouths?
I don't know. But maybe there's
tongue.
something about the mouths of those who become symptomatic, something in common.
Something their
Reminded
mouths
me of
have in
everybody
common.
during COVID. It's
Forget
repeating
it.
Yahweh
Can't trust her.
and a bunch of
Even
other
if she
stuff
can stop the
translate.
infected, I don't want her help.
I understand how you feel. But this is
Franco
something to go
lingua.
on.
Can't you see it's just like I said? Bringing her here was a big mistake. Quiet is gonna be the end of us.
Stand down. You've got zero proof. Try to keep an open mind on this, boss. There has to be a way to identify who's infected.
Anybody bother to check the camera and trace the source? So that these kids to become infected through their parents. If an infected parent had kids, to quote and put it in the ghetto layman's terms, hated niggas marry hated bitches and have hated kids. Kanye West.
Good dog. Good dog. Good dog.
Anybody that's been cutting off heads of my fellow canine is going to meet this defeat. Lift them up. They're already outside, they're the ones that are hearing everything. Lift them up into the sky. Wait, overtaking this. It's because they target me on my legs. If you don't understand Havana syndrome, these things target me on my legs and make me feel like they're wobbling. Give me the sensation that I'm about to float up if I stop moving. So I gotta use a cop-out soon of Parkinson's, but that would never work because the diagnosis is gonna come not correct. So, for the ones that think they hear everything that I'm saying, and they happen to be outside or inside, lift them up. As I said, she said something very interesting. She said, then fly like a rainbow. Stupid December 2022. Bitch was targeting me with some hallucinatory effects. After taking brain medicine that made me smarter, modafinil. I was paying attention to everything. Reaction time was great, stellar, working, exercising on the fly. That posed a threat to her. So then you know what she said? She told me, then make him fly like a rainbow. If it hadn't been for the Babylon police to arrive there and take me into treatment, pretty sure she would have lifted me up just to let me fall. It's a type of anti-gravitational devices. All I have to say on the matter is, I am the man on the inside. And I am the one that wants to work for the PL-110. And I just heard him say go to GOTA. Under penalties of perjury, she said. We're from outer space.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
You cannot imitate anybody's voice. Keep waiting for them.
Captured it alive.
There's a Mar ones right now. One more tape.
About the pathogen spreading through Mother Base. You've seen everything we've got on the outbreak. What's your opinion?
Textbook symptoms of vocal cord parasite infestation.
Yes.
And judging from this casualty list, it is the Kikongo strain, meaning a breed of parasite that triggers symptoms upon detecting pronunciation specific to Kikongo.
So our Kikongo-speaking staff are at risk.
Quite so.
He's right. All the victims do speak Kikongo.
So they can survive if they just use another language.
There is no guarantee. You're only dealing with the Kikongo strain. Other language strains may be present. You well know he was teaching them languages from all over the world.
The Devil's House. Nzoya Badiabulu.
There is no way to know how many strains he has at his disposal.
So how do we keep them from becoming symptomatic? You mentioned using microbes.
Use this. A type of Wolbachia. Introduced to a sample.
Why do they keep saying damn Yahweh? Dude, my name is Anthony Brito for the last time, dude. You've been infected.
Colonizes the parasites, turning male to female and preventing copulation. You must cultivate more. What have you done with the infected bodies?
Cremated to stop the spread of infection. But we did keep a few for study.
Good. Take this sample, grind it to a pulp, and introduce it to the larvae now nesting in the dead. The Wolbachia will multiply rapidly within those larvae.
They're soldiers, not some petri dish.
Conventional cultivation methods will take too long. Extract the Wolbachia from those larvae and vaccinate your men. Kikongo speakers first. This is the fastest, surest way. No one is to speak a word of Kikongo until the Wolbachia are safely inside them. I will instruct your medical staff in detail on site. You have the appropriate facilities.
This is also rainbows.
Do not worry. I made a pact with your Pete Holone on the honor of the Dene. I speak no lies. Keep an eye on him.
Will do. Follow me. I'll take you to the medical team.
Now, we must wait for the Wolbachia to multiply in the larvae.
Code
How is
Talker,
the disease
they
transmitted?
hate
If it's carried
something
by
about the
insects or
Hopi
rodents,
Indians.
There is
5430 West Coast, Chicago, West Coast, Poland. They hate
the vocal cord parasites lay their eggs
Hopi
in the
Indian
larynx
legends.
of the host. Most hatch and migrate to the lungs,
Hopi
but some are
Indian
transported to the
legend.
mouth through ciliary movement, mixing in with saliva.
Saliva. Droplet transmission.
Hopi mythology
Sneezing,
includes many
coughing.
legends, including
Any
creation
food or
stories,
water
prophecies, and
containing
other
infected
stories.
saliva.
As I could say,
It would
tells how
spread
the Hopi
fast.
people used to live underground and Masa.
And when the
The
larvae
air is pure and
migrate into
caretaker
the
and they
lungs,
were ready to emerge.
symptoms
In
can
exchange for saying the
resemble
Hopi promised
the
to care for the
early
world,
stages
and
of
Masala
cold,
tasked him with finding center
making it
spaces
easy
to settle.
infect others.
As he
Meaning a
settled the
simple
Hopi mortal
conversation
bases
would be
with
enough to
spiral
pass it
symbols.
on.
Alright, so what happens after the larvae
Wow.
migrate to the lungs?
Hopi legends is an ancient mechanic ancient strange forces guided the Hopi to end people in underground chambers and save them. Hopi prophets say the world is entering its fifth flow, and the time of plenty is
By
coming
that
to an
point,
end
it's
because
too late.
governments have violated
He's
native
infected
title.
everyone else. It's one hell of a weapon you've created.
That is what Blagapana wanted. Something that would spread easily. In truth, he is
Tawa.
not the reason.